Hello friends, welcome to RAYACADEMY and welcome to my new live class. And in this class, friends, we are going to cover the weekly current affairs week 4 of August 2022. And this class is presented by me, Prabhakar Jha. In this class, friends, I'm going to cover the topics mains oriented than pre-oriented also. So first of all, I will try to cover the most important topic of the last week. Okay, week 4 of the August month. August month for the means examination, and there's also I have covered the prelims examination facts in my slides. Okay, so now let's move ahead and let's start with the first topic, and let's see what is the first topic. So you can see here, okay, first topic is the making of Greater India into Southeast Asia. Greater India in Southeast Asia. जो पहला ही टॉपिक है क्या है, अपनी भारत को एक ग्रेटर इंडिया को बनाने के लिए किसमें, साउथ एशिया में बनाने के लिए. So as we know कि international relation, this topic is related to the international relation, and paper is general studies paper 2. Paper is general studies paper 2 will have to keep in the mind. And then friends, first of all, we should understand ki what is the context, why we are discussing. Basically, this topic was in, you can say, this topic was covered by the various newspaper and mainly in the Indian Express also. Okay. So context is key as a part of his visit to Thailand for the 9th India-Thailand Joint Commission meeting. Joint Commission meeting. What? 9th Thailand India. Okay. Joint meeting. 9th Thailand Joint Commission meeting. And our External Affairs Minister S.J. Shankar visited the Devasthan, okay, in Bangkok. Devasthan. Also, we can say so DEVE, okay, and the place is DEVASTHAN. Devasthan in Bangkok, okay, Bangkok. And basically, the visit emphasizes the long history of cultural contact between India and Thailand. हुआ क्या है कि आप देखोगे हमारे भारत और थाईलैंड के बीच जो आपकी नौवीं जो आपके संयुक्त जो मीटिंग हुई थी, ठीक है, उसी में हमारे जो विदेश मंत्री एस जयशंकर जी जो थाईलैंड को विजिट किए थे. थाईलैंड में एक जगह है देवस्थान, ओके, वहां पे उन्होंने विजिट किया. उससे क्या लगा, उससे हमें ये पता चलता है कि हमारे और जो आपका थाईलैंड है उसके बीच में जो संबंध है बहुत ही पुराना एंड ऐतिहासिक है. बिकॉज वी शुड अंडरस्टैंड द थाईलैंड यू कैन से ना कि बैकग्राउंड एस्पेक्ट्स. So if you talk about the background, okay, so first of all, we should understand the background in the early years, okay, in the early years. Anyone, can you guess what was, what is the background of India and Thailand relation in early years? Yeah, also we can say in ancient history, okay, early years, 5th or 6th century AD, there was a spread of the Buddhism in Southeast Asia, So that's why we can say their cultural relation between historical relation between the south you can say ना Thailand and India. So भारत और थाईलैंड के बीच अगर आप देखते हो तो क्या एक ऐतिहासिक जो हम लोग कहते हैं ना कि एक आपका जो पृष्ठभूमि भी रहा है संबंध का. जैसे कि अगर आप बात करते हो इन पोस्ट इंडिया या पोस्ट इंडिपेंडेंस पीरियड, ओके, इंडो थाई रिलेशन हैड रिमेन lukewarm with neither the king nor the prime minister of Thailand during 1947 to 76 to pay a state visit to India. Yes, हमारे इंसिडेंट हिस्ट्री में तो आपका रिलेशन आपका रहा है, ठीक है, जो ड्यू टू द बुद्धिज्म्स, वी कैन से ड्यू टू द बुद्धिज्म्स. But after the independence till 1976, we can say till 1976 there were no visit of the Thailand you can say na कि ruler, you can Thailand ruler in India, okay, after 1947, okay, 1947. And then now let's move ahead. Basically the major reason for this limited high levels visit could be political, as Thailand witnessed the 6th prime minister between 1973 to 76. बेसिकली एक जो आपका कारण है उसमें से कारण क्या था, राजनीतिक कारण था, ठीक है, क्योंकि 1973 से 76 के बीच में अगर आप देखे हुए तो उस टाइम थाईलैंड में बहुत ही उथल पुथल हो रहा था, और उस टाइम सिर्फ 3 सालों में 6 प्राइम मिनिस्टर जो है थाईलैंड में आपके बदल चुके थे, 6 प्राइम मिनिस्टर, ओके. उसके बाद जो हमें समझने की कोशिश करना है, ये करना है कि द थाई गवर्नमेंट वाज नॉट एबल टू टेक स्टेप्स टू स्ट्रेंथन इंडो थाई रिलेशन. उस समय अगर बात करते जो थाईलैंड के गवर्नमेंट थे वो सक्षम ही नहीं थे कि भारत सरकार, भारत और थाईलैंड का जो रिलेशन है उसे क्या किया जा सके, स्ट्रॉन्ग किया जा सके। ओके, एंड देन आफ्टर दैट अगर हम लोग बात करते हैं कि व्हाट आर द अप्रोच टुवर्ड्स बिल्डिंग द रिलेशन, ओके, टुवर्ड्स द बिल्डिंग द रिलेशन बिटवीन इंडिया एंड थाईलैंड। सो यू कैन सी कि basically Southeast Asia Treaty Organization, it is also known as the CETO, SEATO. Southeast Asia Treaty Organization was an international organization and created by Southeast Asia Collective Defense Treaty. Okay, so Southeast Asia Treaty Organization, which was created by Southeast Asia Collective Defense Treaty, So this is very, very important. But after that, after almost 1976, okay, they were, you can say now, development between the India and Thailand relation and the Southeast Asia Treaty Organization, which was created by Southeast Asia Collective Defense Treaty. Okay, then there was slowly, okay, you can say improvement of relation between India and Thailand. And then Pakistan being a member of the Southeast Asia Treaty Organization, okay, established for the collective defense in Southeast Asia, So this is also very, very important. Now let's move ahead and let's discuss कि Pakistan basically enjoy the support of Thailand on many international platforms. Okay, but the situation changed when Pakistan and United States wanted to stop the Indian action in support of the independence of Bangladesh. But Thailand gave its support to India by opting for a neutral stance. Okay, opting for a neutral stance. So we can say कि before almost you can say 1975 or 1976, they were or also you can say there were basically differences in India and Thailand relation due to the Pakistan support. Basically Thailand government supported Pakistan on various international level. Okay, and then but when they were, you can say now, creation of Bangladesh. So in a creation of Bangladesh, Thailand government, okay, supported Indian government. So also please keep in the mind. And then after that they were also, you can say na, re-beginning, okay, they were re-beginning of the India and Thailand relation. So basically after the creation of the Bengal, okay, this act basically after the creation of the Bengal, Thailand government signal a new phase, okay, for the renewing the bilateral ties means India and Thailand ties, okay, India and Thailand ties. So this is really very, very important, I told you. Now there's a one concept, okay, so we should understand the one concept, and the one concept, what is the concept I'm going to tell you. Please keep in the mind कि basically there are new term, okay, about not a new term, basically there's a farther, for not further, farther, FARTHER, I'm going to tell you. Please keep in the mind. Yeah, so this is you can say na, farther India. Okay, so what is this? This is very, very important. Basically there's a French scholar, okay, George Coedes. George Coedes. Okay, George Coedes was the first person to do an in-depth study, okay, in-depth study of the process of Indianization in Southeast Asian countries, and they published his work on the subject in the book The Indianized States of Southeast Asia. What? The Indianized, okay, Indianized States of Southeast Asia, Indianized, okay, states of Southeast Asia. And also George Coedes, okay, coined the term farther, FARTHER, okay, farther India, to refer to those states that experience the civilizing activity of India. Yeah, geographically we can say it refers to Vietnam, Cambodia, okay, it refers to Vietnam, Cambodia, okay, it refers to Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, Thailand, Myanmar, Laos, Thailand, Myanmar, okay, Thailand, Myanmar, and the Malay state, okay, and the Malay states, okay, and the Malay states. So basically, you will have to keep in the mind what is the meaning of the further India. So basically, this term was coined by the George Coedes, and he was the first person to do an in-depth study of the process of Indianization in Southeast Asian countries. And then he published the book, and the book name was The Indianized States of Southeast Asia. And he coined the term further India. Further India to refer to those states that experience the civilizing activity of India. Okay. And the country name, I already told you. Okay, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, Thailand, Myanmar, and the Malay state. And the Malay state. Now let's move ahead and let's discuss about how the Southeast Asian countries were Indianized. Can you give me the example? Anyone? Can you give me how the Southeast, okay, nation, yeah, Southeast country, basically also we can say Southeast Asian countries were Indianized. So basically there is a role, okay, sea of voyages and the trade, just like in Sanskrit, Buddhist and a Jain text. I will not go in detail. Then a spread of the regional and the cultural exchange. Then there is also martial alliances, or then there's a cooperation in the defense, cooperation in the science and tech. Then also you can say India supported the various countries, just like if you talk about the recent example is the Sri Lanka, okay. Then also India supported Bangladesh. Then India supported also, you can say now, okay, in Myanmar, okay, in Myanmar also. Then after that, India, okay, give credit line to the Vietnam, okay, Laos, like this. So basically, we can say there are lots of example, okay, how the Southeast Asian countries were Indianized. And then now we have already discussed basically the region of the Indianized, yeah, region of the India influence on the Southeast Asian nation, okay, Southeast Asian nation, language similarities, okay, what language similarities, okay. Then religious influences, Savagisms, Vaishnavism, Theravada Buddhisms, Mahayana Buddhisms, okay. Then after that, architectural evidence, okay, just like in monuments like Borobudur Stup, okay, in Java, then Angkor Wat temple in Cambodia, Maishan temple in Vietnam, okay. So these are very, very important status. And now I'm going to tell you, if you'll talk about the present status of the India and Thailand, okay. So in a present status, we can say ASEAN is very, very important for the India. India is a member of the East Asia Summit. India is a member of the Bay of Bengal Initiative for multi-sectoral technical and economic cooperation. India is a member of, you can say, Mekong Ganga cooperation, okay. Then Asian, also you can say Asian cooperation dialogue, then Indian Ocean Rim Association, and Ayawadi, okay, Chow Faraya Mekong Economic Cooperation Strategy. So basically, we can say at present time, okay, Indian government is focusing on Southeast Asian nation. That's why now, Indian government in 2014-15 changed the policy. Which policy? Basically, they were, you can say, Lucas policy. Lucas policy changed as the Act East policy. Okay, Act East policy. So these things are very, very important. Okay. There is a basically India and Southeast Asian trade relation. There is a tourism, okay, cooperation in defense, then India cooperation. So you will have to keep in the mind. So this is very, very important. Anyone, do you have any doubt related to this topic? In defense sector, also they are Indianized. Malaysia for Tejas, yes, of course. Then Philippines, India, basically you can say now gave BrahMos missile to the Philippines. Okay, or also you can say still BrahMos missile to the Philippines. So there are lots of example. Okay, and at present time we can say ki the Indian presence is increasing in Southeast Asia, and this is very, very important. And this is very, very important for the, you can say, India's strategic, okay, yeah, India's, you can say, defense strategy. So this is really important. So we have covered the first topic. Now let's move ahead, and this topic is important, so that's why I cover, because this topic is not only related to India and Thailand relation. This topic is related to India and Southeast Asian nation relation. Okay, so you can add many points in the India and Southeast Asian nation topic. Now let's move ahead and let's discuss about a new topic, that is Rohingya and refugee policy for India. We have discussed 2 or 3 times, okay, in the last 3 or 4 months this topic. Okay, so this topic is very very important, Rohingya and refugee policy for India. Now let's discuss कि what is the context. आपका context क्या है? India's approach towards refugee, okay, in a general about the Rohingyas has raised several questions about India's policies on the Rohingyas. There were news now related to tussle between Delhi, okay, government and union government related to the, you can say, Rohingyas shelter house, okay, Rohingyas shelter house. So that's why now this topic is very very important. This topic is very very important. Now let's move ahead and let's discuss with the details. Okay, what are the details related to this topic? So let's understand basically कि what is the background. आपका background जो है वो आपका क्या है, इन सारी चीजों को हम लोग समझने की कोशिश करते हैं. In 2012, okay, in 2012, please keep in the mind. Yes, in 2012, India allowed Rohingya refugees to enter the India and consider the eruption of violent conflicts between the Rakhine Buddhist, okay, conflicts between the Rakhine is also in Myanmar, Rakhine Buddhist, okay, Rakhine Buddhist and Rohingya Muslim in which state? Rakhine state. Rakhine is a state in Myanmar. Rakhine state, and as a basically internal affair. And Myanmar has classified, okay, Rohingya as resident foreigners, okay, or associate citizens, not a full citizen. So Myanmar, okay, recognize Rohingya as associate citizen. Associate citizen. This is very very important. And they were forced to leave. Okay, they were basically forced to leave Myanmar in large number after several waves of violence, and which first began in 2012. And officially plans about 1,200 Rohingyas have been identified as among the first batch to have arrived in Delhi in 2012. Okay, 2012. So this is really very very important. Okay, now for our examination, we should understand who are Rohingyas. We should understand who are Rohingyas. We will have to okay know. About the who are Rohingyas. So Rohingyas peoples are a stateless Indo-Aryan ethnic group who, okay, predominantly follow Islam and reside in Rakhine state and basically Myanmar, okay, and Myanmar basically, for you can say formerly you can say in in before 1935 Myanmar was known as the Burma, okay, also you can say Burma, and Burma was the part of the India, and Burma, okay, basically separated from India by the government of India at 1935, okay, 1935. This is important. And then now let's move ahead. Basically, Rohingyas are prescribed by the United Nations as the most persecuted minority in the world. Okay, most persecuted minority in the world. And okay, so Rohingyas are basically most persecuted minority in the world according to United Nations. And they fled their homes in 2017 to escape an alleged crackdown by Myanmar's military, and then to escape discrimination and violence in Myanmar. Minority Rohingyas Muslims have for decades fled from the Buddhist majority country to neighboring Bangladesh and other countries, including India. So this is really very very important. Okay, now for our examination, we should understand कि what are the issues. हमारे एग्जाम के लिए जो समझना है कि भाई इश्यूज ये होता, ये इश्यूज क्या है. Basically, in June 2021, a fire, okay, ravaged one of the Rohingyas camps, and after the incident, displaced Rohingyas were moved to an empty, okay, plot near that belonged to the Jakat Foundation of India, and Jakat Foundation of India is an okay NGO, non-governmental organization, and it was later decided by the Delhi government to shift all Rohingyas family to EWS flats and would be put under constant police watch. Okay, so this is the main issue. Now We should understand the nature of assistance provided to Rohingyas in detention camps. So basically, relief assistance is provided by the center that includes monthly cash dole, then subsidized ration, clothing materials, utensils, cremations, and basically also srad, okay, and the infrastructure facilities in camps. Now, so we have discussed this thing. What is India's stance on basically refugee? So basically, if you talk about India's stance on refugee, so according to government, the infiltration from the Rakhine states of Myanmar into the Indian territory, deciding also you can say besides being a burden on the limited resources of the country, and also aggravates the security challenges posed to the country. And in addition, the rise in terrorism in the last few decades, it's a cause for concern in most nations, and those illegal migrants are more vulnerable to getting recruited by terrorist organizations. And also, we'll have to keep in the mind, Santosh, and everyone, India is not a signatory, okay, to the 1951. Please keep in the mind, India is not a secretary of the 1951. Please keep in the mind, okay. 1951 UN Convention relating, okay, to the status of refugee, and 1967 protocol, okay, and 1967 protocol. So basically, India is not a signatory, okay, related to the, you can say, refugee policy of United Nations, okay, and 1967 protocol. So we can say yes, India basically, okay, India can give the grounds on the basis of humanity, okay, on the basis of humanity or the human, also you can say natural justice. But India, okay, is not a signatory members of 1951 Convention on refugee. And so we can say India officially stands India do not want, okay, please keep in the mind, India do not want to basically give access, okay, access of the territory of India to any refugee. But India, okay, used to give basically on the grounds of the humanity, on the grounds of the humanity. And then there is also one thing is very, very important for the upper examination, FRRO. I'm going to tell you, okay. So please keep in the mind, FRRO, FRRO. So what is FRRO? FRRO stands for Foreigners Regional Registration Office, okay. Foreigners Regional Registration Office, okay, regional registration office. Please keep in the mind, and it is responsible for tracking the foreigners and their visas. And the basically foreigners regional registration is under the administrative control of the Ministry of Home Affairs. And since basically Delhi is a union territory, law and order are under the central government, and it has erupted the matter of managing the refugee issues pertaining to Rohingyas is between the Delhi government and the central government, okay. And you'll have to keep in the mind, basically there are various act, all foreigners, okay, undocumented nationals are governed according to the various provisions, the Foreigners Act 1946, the Registration of Foreigners Act 1939, the Passports Act 1920, the Citizenship Act 1955. No need to remember these things, okay. But please keep in the mind, foreigner national, okay, who enter the country without valid documents, yeah, valid travel documents, are treated as illegal immigrants, okay, illegal immigrants. And there is no national law on refugee at present. Only you can say the standard operating procedures are issued by the Ministry of Home Affairs to deal with the foreigner national in India and who claim to be a refugee. So we can say at India's present, we can say India basically do not want to provide access, okay. Yeah, India is basically not believing to give assistance to the refugee, but on the human grounds, India, okay, used to give. And how can we say basically at present time there is a no national law on refugee at present, only SOP, standard operating procedure, and which are issued by the Ministry of Home Affairs. Let's discuss about what can be done to further improve their condition, Myanmar condition can be done further to improve their condition, Myanmar Rohingyas condition. Anyone, do you want to tell me? making for them sustainable living condition. Basically, in order to minimize the risk of disease and infection, large-scale vaccination programs have been launched to try to minimize the risk of disease. Then legal and social backing, okay, by legislating a universal or national law on refugee can help a lot in their management, improve facilities to improve sanitation and public health condition with better employment opportunities. So these things are very, very important. So I have discussed, okay, assessing legality in, okay, Bilkis Bano case is in frequent news. So we'll have to understand ki assessing legality in Bilkis Bano case. Okay. And basically, ki first of all, this topic is related to the polity and governance. General Studies Paper 2, Polity and Governance. And let's understand कि context क्या है आपका, कि आपके 11 जो मेन थे, ठीक है, जिन्हें कन्विक्टेड बताया गया था बिल्किस बानो के रेप केस में उनके जो फैमिली को मर्डर करने को लेकर के, कब 2002 के जो गुजरात दंगे हुए थे उस समय, ओके, उनको जो है आपका गोधरा जेल से आपका 15 अगस्त के अवसर पे उन्हें रिहा किया गया था. नाउ आफ्टर दैट देयर आर सो मैनी, ओके, डिबेट्स ऑन Bilkis Bano case. Okay, so 11 men convicted of life imprisonment for gang raping Bilkis Bano and murdering his family members during the 2002 Gujarat riots and walked out of Godhra sub jail after a panel approval for their application for remission. Okay, remission. So now, what is the important for our examination? Our examination important is Article 72 pardoning power of the president and Article 161 pardoning power of governor. Okay, are very, very important. You'll have to keep in the mind. Now I'm going to tell you about the background of the Bilkis Bano case. जो Bilkis Bano case की जो आपके जो background था उसके बारे में थोड़ा सा कहानी मैं आपको बताता हूँ. So you can easily understand. Okay, so you can easily understand. Basically, the accused in the case were arrested in 2004. Okay, and the trial began in Ahmedabad, and later the apex court transferred the case to Mumbai. Then on 21st January 2008, the special CBI court sentenced 11 accused to the life imprisonment on the charges of conspiring to rape a pregnant woman, murder, and unlawful assembly under the Indian Penal Code. Then in 2019, Supreme Court awarded compensation of 15 lakhs to Bilkis, and the first such order in a case related to the 2002 riots. And this latest decision in a now criticized as a tragic reflection of India's halting progress in addressing violence against women. Okay, so basically this briefs aims to dissect the legality of the premature release, okay, of convicts. Please keep in the mind convicts while tracing the development of the law of remission in India. Now, for our examination purpose, we would analyze this topic. Basically, if you cover the analysis of this topic, so you can see here that this topic talks about determining the legality of the grant of remission or to the convicts. Okay, to the convicts. And so basically, there are two questions. Main two question is first, is the Gujarat governments, okay, is the Gujarat governments the appropriate governments as per section 432 clause 7 of the CRPC to grant remission? Okay, so answer is कि the Supreme Court in Radheshyam Bhagwan Das Shah versus the state of Gujarat held that the appropriate government means related governments, okay, related governments, state governments, okay, was the one where the offense took place. Okay, please keep in the mind. And next question is the center concurrence necessary in case of remissions? Let's see. Section 435 of CRPC, Criminal, okay, Procedure Code, states that in a case where an investigation is carried out under any central act by a central agency such as CBI, ED, okay, like this, and no order of remission can be passed by the state government unless concurrence has been produced by the central government. So section 435 makes consultation with the center is mandatory. Okay, mandatory when the also you can say na ke in a such case where you can say central agency will involve. Okay, central agency will involve. So in Bilkis Bano case, Okay, CBI was involved. CBI was involved. So this is very, very important related to the determining the legality of the grant of remission to the convicts of the Bilkis Bano. Okay, Bilkis Bano. So please keep in the mind. Now, for our examination, we should understand. Okay, we should understand. Okay, what are the, okay, please keep in the mind key, what are the, please keep in the mind, okay, what are the other areas of concern related to the Bilkis Bano case? Yeah, related to the you can say judgments of state governments, yeah, related to these cases. Okay, so what are the other areas of concern? Basically, overrule the Supreme Court. What? Overrule the Supreme Court. First one, please keep in the mind. Overrule the apex court, overrule the Supreme Court. Okay, overrule the Supreme Court. So basically, one of the convicts had obtained an order from the Supreme order from the apex court in the May 2022, under which Gujarat, the state in which the crime occurred, was held to be the appropriate government to consider his premature release. Then they were violating, okay, remissions norms. Violating remission norms will have to understand. Second, okay, please keep in mind, this is very, very important. Violating of remission norms. Okay, violating remission norms. And then after that, okay, there is you can say now, okay, under the 2014 norms, person convicted for gang rape and murder cannot be released prematurely. And as the life sentence normally means that a convict has to be spent the natural life in prison. And then the Code of Criminal Procedure permits premature release in the form of remission or commutation, but it should be based on a legal and constitutional scheme and not on one's discretions. Okay, so this is very, very important. Now, we should understand for our prelims examination, okay, what is remission? What is remission? Basically, we should understand the, you can say now, pardoning power of governor, okay, and president. So this is very, very important, and you should cover and you should understand what are the pardoning powers of the president and the governor. Okay, so I already told you, okay, article 72 is related to the, you can say, okay, pardoning power of the president, and article 161 is related to the pardoning power of the governor. Okay, pardoning power of the governor. Now let's move ahead. Basically, okay, first of all, I'm going to tell you about the remissions. Okay, and then after that, I will discuss the pardoning power of the president and the pardoning power of the governor. And yeah, first of all, I should discuss the pardoning power of the president and the pardoning power of the government. Basically, if you talk about the pardoning power of the president and governor, so one difference is related to the article 72 related to president, and 161 is related to the governor. And the scope of the president is wider than the pardoning power of governor. Basically, scope is wider. How? Basically, the power of the president to grant pardon extends in the case where the punishment or sentence is by a court martial. Okay, but governor, yeah, according to article 161, okay, governor does not provide any such power to the governor. Okay, then related to the death sentence, president can grant pardon in all cases where the sentence given in the you can say now sentence of death, but the pardoning power of the governor does not extend to the death sentence cases. So you will have to keep in the mind two differences. First one related to martial law. Martial law means military. Okay, if there is a court martial, so only president can basically pardon. Okay, governor cannot. Governor's power related to the state jurisdictions, state territory. India also say president power is related to the Indian, okay, jurisdiction, yeah, Indian territory. This is also the differences. And now, if you talk about there are 5 things, okay, in you can say pardoning powers. Okay, I'm going to tell you. You'll have to understand, and this is really very, very important for the prelims examination and maybe also for your mains examination. So first one is pardon. What is the meaning of the pardon? Meaning of the pardon means complete pardon. Complete pardon means if there is a, you can say now, a punishment for 3 years or 20 years, so there will be complete pardon. Okay, so and then if there is a fine, so then there will be complete. Okay, basically there will be no charge. So please keep in the mind. Okay, what is the meaning of the pardon? I told you it removes both the sentence and the conviction and completely absolves the convict from all sentence, punishments, and disqualification. So first one is pardon. Pardon is complete. Then second one is commutation. Yeah. Second one is commutation. We'll have to understand. Commutation means basically it denotes the substitution of one form of punishment for a lighter form. Just like if there is a death sentence, so death sentence may be changed as the life imprisonment. Okay, death sentence may be changed as the life imprisonment. So please keep in the mind. Commutation means we can say now the nature of the punishment will change. Then there is a remission. Okay, next one is remission, and remission is in news. Yeah. So what is the meaning of the remission? Remission means it implies reducing the period of sentence without changing its characters. Without changing its characters. For example, a sentence of rigorous, okay, imprisonment for 2 years may be remitted to the rigorous imprisonment for 1 year. So remission means also we can say nature of punishment will not change, but the duration will change. Okay, duration will change. So this is remission. Okay, and then after that there is a respite. RESPIT. Yeah. So what is the meaning of the respite? Respite means it denotes avoiding a lesser sentence in place of one originally avoided due to a special fact, such as the physical disability, such as the pregnancy of the women, such as the senior citizens. So respite means you can say ki lesser, okay, sentence in a special cases. In a special cases. Then there is reprieve. Of REPRIEV. Yeah. So reprieve. What is the meaning of reprieve? Reprieve means it implies a stay of the execution of a sentence, especially related to death. Temporary suspension. Okay, temporary suspension. So please keep in the mind. I have okay discussed pardon. Pardon means complete pardon. Okay, and then commutation changes the nature of the sentence. Okay, so it denotes the substitution of one form of punishment for a lighter form. Remission means it implies reducing the period of sentence without changing its character. That means in nature. Respite means it denotes avoiding a lesser sentence in a special cases. Reprieve means it implies a stay of the execution of sentence. That means ki basically just like in a parole, just like you can say temporary period, and mainly it is related to the death sentence. Okay, now let's move ahead, and please keep in the mind pardoning power is very very important. I'm going to cover this topic. What are the areas of concern we have already discussed? Remission we have already discussed. I will not go in detail. Okay, we have already discussed Article 72-161. Okay, I'm going to tell you the one important subject, yeah, one important facts related to the prelims. Basically prison, PRISON. Okay, prison, yeah, and law and order comes under the subject law. So prison is a subject under the state list of the 7th schedule of the Constitution, and the management and administration of jails falls under the state government. Okay, so please keep in the mind. Now let's move ahead. Will have to understand that our state government permitted to release convicts. Yes, section 432 of the Code of the Criminal Procedure allow the state government to grant remission to convicts, which means a state government can release a prisoner prematurely if it so desires. Okay, we should not go in detail related to this because we'll have to cover the topics according to the general studies, not according to the law. Okay, and then now let's move ahead and let's discuss about the associated challenges related to the, you can say na, after the remissions of the Bilkis Bano cases and assessing legality in the Bilkis Bano cases. Okay, so first of all, if you talk about the challenges, there's a political interest. Yes, of course, political interest. That's why Gujarat government released the Bilkis Banos convict. And then if you talk about the next and the next thing is nepotism. Yes, of course, many times nepotism is found as one of the key reasons for the remission and other grants in India. Flexible consultation provisions, okay, not go in detail. Then ineligible for premature release, yes, of course. Then inconsistency in remission policies, okay. So just keep in the mind, okay. Now let's move ahead and let's discuss about the most important things, and most important things, that is most important topic, and the topics related to these digital currencies in governance and the balance between the privacy and transparency. And we have already discussed about the central digital, okay, currency. So now I will discuss, okay, only the aspects related to the exam, okay. So basically, if you talk about the context, a recent report by the United Nations stated that over 7% of India's population on digital currency. How many? 7% of India's population, okay, basically invested in blockchain technology, that means cryptocurrency like this, okay. And the adoption of digital currency has increased challenges in terms of the need to balance accountability, privacy, and transparency. So we have already discussed, but I'm going to tell you about the backgrounds. Okay, digital currency are often cited as a tool for financial inclusion, and which has the potential to change global financial infrastructure. And recent development have heightened global awareness of the opportunities, challenges, and risks posted by a new forms of digital currency. And friends, as a new technology in a space cut across traditional lines of jurisdictional responsibility, coordination among the public and private sectors, and both domestically and internationally, is increasingly required. So, what is the digital currency in governance? We should understand. Basically, the Indian government is trying to explore the idea of national digital currency and its integration with the governance. And if digital currency owned by the central banks are authorized, then the central banks will be able to watch over and control every transaction. Okay, every transaction. And the introduction of central digital bank currency is expected to bring transparency to the industry. Okay, transparency to the industry. So, what is the need for the cryptocurrency governance? We should understand, because at present time, okay, you can say now, cryptocurrencies, yeah, usage of cryptocurrency has increased. So now, privacy, basically, there is a threat for the privacy, and privacy is a big area of concern. And to eliminate the scope for regulatory, okay, arbitrage, there is a need for cryptocurrency regulation. And as new payment methods appear and appropriate regulatory frameworks become critical, and so that's why the well-placed legislation can go a long way in helping the agency targeting financial crimes. So now, for examination, we should understand what is digital currency. Basically, friends, digital currency is a form of a currency. Okay, what is digital currency? Digital currency is a form of currency. Please try to understand. And that is available only in digital or electronic forms, not in a cash forms, not in physical forms. And all cryptocurrency are digital currency, but not all digital, okay, currencies are cryptocurrency. So please keep in the mind. And then, now, what are the present challenges for regarding the digital currency? What are the present challenges for regarding the digital currency? Basically, challenges related to the privacy and transparency. Okay, first challenges: privacy and transparency. Privacy. Second, transparency. Transparency. Then, if you will talk about next is cyber fraud. Cyber fraud. Okay, and then chances of executions of unauthorized trades which do not come under any regulatory framework. So for better regulation, yeah, you can say outside the regulation. Outside the regulation. Then if you talk about a concern over money laundering, terror financing, tax evasions, and extra with private cryptocurrency like bitcoins, okay, ethers. So this is really very, very important, and we'll have to keep in the minds. Now, then the government also started various, you can say, initiative to stop illegal practice and era, you can say, related to the digital currency. So, central government announced for the central, okay, bank digital currency. Then also 30% you can say tax on incomes by the cryptocurrency. Okay, in India's legal enablers for the digital currency. This is also very important. And we have already covered the central bank digital currency, so I will not go in detail. Okay, so this is very important. So if you talk about the central bank digital currency, basically it is the legal tender issued by a central bank. That means by a RBI, legal tender issued by RBI, central bank, RBI. So please keep in the mind. Okay, and they are issued and controlled by the central banks of a nation, and they are pegged to the value of the country's first currency. Yeah, fiat currency. Fiat currency means it will be valid in the Indian economy. Fiat currency. Okay, fiat currency. And the digital fiat currency, or CBDC, can be transacted using wallets backed by the blockchain, and it enables the user to conduct both domestic and cross-border transactions which do not require a third party or a bank. And RBI had proposed amendments to the Reserve Bank of India Act 1934, which would enable it to launch a CBDC, central bank digital currency. And the amendment to the RBI Act 1934 will enhance the scope of the definition of banks note to include currency in digital form. Okay. Then also, if you talk about the, you can say, there is a important points related to the blockchain technology. What is blockchain technology? Basically, if you talk about the blockchain technology, okay, so blockchain technology, yeah, blockchain derives its name from the digital database or ledgers where information is stored as a blocks that are coupled together forming chains. That means a group of the data. Okay, and it offers a singular combination or permanent and temper evident record keeping, real-time transaction transparency, and auditability. So we can say it is an exact copy of the blockchain is available to each of the multiple computers or users who are joined together in a network. So if you'll have to know about the blockchain, okay, so we can say blockchain technology, a group of a data also we can say. Okay, so basically they are a new data structure that is secure, cryptography based, and distributed across a network. And the technology supports cryptocurrency such as bitcoins and the transfer of any data or digital assets. So please keep in the mind. Now I have already given you a main question. What is central bank digital currency? How does it work? CBDC is slowly gaining momentum and acceptance across the world. Discuss its potential benefits and challenges in India. Okay, in a 250 words, please try to cover the aspects of the question, demands of the question, every demands of the question, so you can get maximum mark. Okay, now I'm going to cover a new topic, and that is a very important topic for means examination, and this is privatization of public sector banks. Okay, in India, privatization of public sector banks in India. This is really very important. So the topic, this topic is related to the, you can say now, General Studies Paper 3 Economy, and the context is the recently India absorbed 53rd anniversary of bank nationalization. 53rd, okay, anniversary of bank nationalization. So first nationalization 19th July, okay, 1969. There were 14 banks were nationalized. Second, 15 April, okay, 1980, six banks were nationalized. Six banks were nationalized. So this is really very important. Okay, and now let's move ahead and let's discuss about surplus sale number. When India, okay, observed the 53rd anniversary of bank nationalization, where on other hand, in Union Budget 2021-2022, the government announced its decision to privatize two public sector banks. Privatize two public sectors bank. Now there's also news that RBI warned, okay, to central banks regarding to the, you can say, privatization of public sector banks. So what is the background? So basically, over the past decades, India's public sector banks have struggled with higher NPA, non-performing asset. We have already discussed about this also in the previous classes in last 2 or 3 months. NPA and NPS. What is NPS? NPS are loans, okay, that the borrower fails to pay back to the bank. And predictably, okay, predictably, high levels of NPA erode a bank's profitability. And NPA means ki when, okay, bank will not get interest, or you can say na ki principal amounts, just like if there's loans, okay, for the except agriculture sectors, a bank will not get EMI, that means ki interest or principal amount, within 90 days. So after 90 days it will be treated as, you can say, ki NPA. There are classification, I will not go in detail, okay. So NPAs are also basically loans that the borrowers fails to pay back to the bank. And in case of many public sector banks, friends, even the RBI, which is the banking sector regulator, had to restrict the normal functioning of the banks and force them to improve their financial performance metrics before being allowed to resume normal banking activities. And high levels of NPAs and the ensuing action mean that the public sector banks struggle to finance India's growth need. Okay. So basically, also we can say that now we should understand why there is a need to privatization. Okay, we'll have to understand. So basically, the first point is related to the, okay, degrading financial position of public sector bank. So many of the public sector bank have higher levels of stress assets, NPA, than the private banks, and also lack the letter, okay, on profitability and market capitalization and dividend payment record. And this makes a case for considering them for privatization. Okay, privatization. And then second one is key, private sector banks are far more efficient, far more productive, and far less corrupt than public sector banks. And this is evident in the figure. Okay, this is evident in the figure. And so we'll have to understand key NPA of the, okay, public sector banks has basically rise, but the NPA of the private sector banks basically is balanced, or there is a decrease. Okay, so this is really very, very important. Now let's understand and let's discuss about key. This is also key part of a long-term project. Key, if they really, you can say, privatizations of the public sector banks, so it will free up the government, the majority owner, from continuing to provide equity support to the banks year after year. Then for strengthening the banks, okay, then for the strengthening the banks, so the government is trying to strengthen the strong banks and also minimize their numbers through privatization to reduce its burden of support. And then private sector banks are creating more employment. Okay, so basically, if you'll talk about, okay, the employment, so private banks have not only added more branches but have also created new jobs, while the public sector banks saw declines on both counts. And there are also recommendations for the different committees, friends. I'm going to tell you which committee. So basically, many committee had proposed bringing down the government stake in the public sector banks below 51%. Okay, and Narsimham committee, okay, proposed Narsimham. Okay, Narsimham, Narsimham committee basically recommended for the 33%. Okay, government's share should be, you can say, not more than 33%. PJ Naik committee suggested below 50%. PJ Naik committee basically recommend minus 50%. Okay, minus 50% below 50%. Okay, so this is really very, very important. Now we should understand, does India require privatization of all public sector banks? Basically, according to a recent paper released, all public sector banks should be privatized. But they also realized that this might be a tad too drastic for any government in India to do, and they suggest privatizing all except the State Bank of India. Basically, there were Banking Laws Amendment Bill 2021, Banking Laws Amendment Bill, okay, 2021. So basically, the bill aims to amend banking companies acquisition and transfer laws of 1970 and 1980 and the Banking Regulation Act 1949. Banking Regulation Act 1949, B Banking Regulation Act 1949. Okay, so this is important. And to achieve the privatization of two public sector banks and meet disinvestment targets as stated by the Finance Minister in Union Budget 2021-2022. And these laws had led to the nationalization of banks. So relevant provisions of these laws had to be changed to pave the way for the privatization. And basically this move, okay, will break down the minimum government holding in the public sector banks from 51% to 26%. 51% to 26%. Okay. So now we should understand what are the advantage and disadvantage of the privatization of the public sector bank. So first of all, okay, if you talk about the pros, okay, I'm going to tell you, okay, first point is related to the strengthening of the bank. Okay, just a minute. First, strengthening of the bank, strengthen of the bank also we can say. So basically the government is trying to strengthen the strong banks and also minimize their numbers through privatization to reduce its burden of support. Then second, creation of big banks. Creation of big banks. Yeah. So one of the objective of privatization is also to create big banks. Then last, to reduce risk. To reduce risk. Then to reduce NPA. Then there are so many points. To creation for new jobs. Sorry, creation for jobs like this. Okay. Then there are also concepts. Yeah, one aspect, ki privatization, yeah, private bank is creating jobs, but there is also threat ki there will be job losses. Ki privatization will also result in job losses, maybe branch closures in upcoming futures, maybe related to the financial exclusions. Okay. Then financial exclusion of weaker sections. Ki private sector banks concentrate on the more affluent section of the population and the urban areas, leading to the financial exclusion of weaker sections of the society, particularly in the rural areas. Then governance issue, ki private banks run at the mercy of several groups of people and not by the public consensus. Okay, so that's why this is very, very important. So we have discussed about the you can say related to the facts of the privatization of the banks. Okay, privatization of the government banks.
Sir, what is financial exclusion?
Financial exclusion means just like a weaker section will not get the facilities or services of the banks. There is one term is financial inclusion. That means financial inclusion means you can say last mile of the person should be the part of the banking activities. Okay, that means if there's a government, you can say the banks. So banks can provide the banking services just like a Jan Dhan Yojana. Okay, zero saving accounts, zero balance saving accounts like this. But private banks will not basically you can say do these functions. So that's why there will be the exclusion. Exclusion means from outside. Okay, that means poor people will not get the facilities of the banking activities. So we have discussed about the public sector banks, privatization of public sector banks. Now after that, there's no important topics in means examination. Okay, one topic is related to the you can say the open sea tail on a future of NFT. Okay, non-fungible you can say fungible tokens. So this is not important. So now I have basically covered for 5 or 6 topics for the means examination of the last weeks, and in a slides I have covered the prelims topics, okay, of the last weeks, and you can go through it, and whenever okay you'll get yeah, you will face any problem, let me know. You can send me the message, you can call me. Thank you so much. Bye bye, good night.